Thank you. I now have the distinct honor of introducing our next speaker, who happens to be my former boss, the Executive Director of the Sierra Club, Mr. Mike Brune. Allow me to introduce you. Mike has been at Sierra Club since 2010. He is one of our nation's most inspiring and effective environmental leaders. In his time, Sierra Club has grown to more than 3.5 million supporters, and the organization has grown to become one of the national leaders, moving our nation beyond fossil fuels and to 100% clean, renewable energy while protecting our remaining wild places. Mike is also a nationally recognized commentator on energy issues, and he's the author of the book, Coming Clean, Breaking America's Addiction to Oil and Coal. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mike Brune.
All right, thank you, Owen. How you doing, everybody? That was pretty calm. All right, yes or no? Let me ask some questions here. Are you ready to stop oil drilling off the coast of Santa Barbara? Are you ready to stop oil development in Santa Barbara County? Do you believe that we can build a society that's powered by 100% clean, renewable energy? Will you give up until it's done? No. All right. Well, I'm in the right place. So, hi, everybody. I just wanted to say, before I get started, I want to express my appreciation for all of the groups who helped to organize this event. You know who you are. You've heard their names mentioned several times, so that I don't get it wrong. My favorite acronym, Get Oil Out. Thank you very much for putting this event together. Community Environmental Council, Environmental Defense Center, the Sustainability Program at UC Santa Barbara, thank you. You know, these events don't happen by themselves, so please give a raucous round of applause for all the organizers. And then there were lots of groups in the entranceway to this theater, so I just wanted to thank you, all my friends here at the Sierra Club, the good folks at Greenpeace, Friends of the Earth, 350, I saw CBD out there. Thank you, everybody, for all the work that you're doing on a tireless basis, day after day, week after week, month after month. And then, you know, we are in a sacred space, so I want to thank the leaders from the Chumash tribe who spoke to christen this event. And I wanted to thank the designers and the workers who built this incredible space here. So thank you, and I appreciate being here. So we're here, I think that we're here really to test whether or not we can learn from our history or whether we're going to repeat it. We're here to test the idea that from darkness comes the light. We're here to test whether or not we can turn disasters into opportunities for justice and grace and wisdom. I think that we can. I saw it growing up. I was born in Chadwick Beach, New Jersey, near Toms River, New Jersey. And when I was growing up, when I was about 12, 13 years old, we had a massive spill. It was a little different. It was raw chemical sludge, not oil. It wasn't accidental, it was intentional. It was pollution that was coming from Toms River Chemical, this massive chemical plant in Toms River, New Jersey, that had the only permit in the state of New Jersey to dump its raw sludge straight into the ocean. And so when I used to go swimming and my friends would go surfing, we'd come out more often than not with a rash. We'd see pollution washing up with the waves. And it wasn't until people like all of us gathered here today who said no more, groups like Greenpeace, engaged in civil disobedience, they started organizing, dozens of organizations, thousands of people said that we can do better. And they did. Today when I go home, visit my parents, I can see my feet when I walk in the ocean. There's dolphins swimming by. I saw the power of organizing. We started this event with a great slideshow. And we saw the aftermath of the spill, a horrific event, one of the worst in history, the worst known spill at the time. You heard the stats, thousands of birds, countless marine wildlife affected, an economy that was destroyed for years and years. But from that disaster, we saw the development of new environmental organizations. More importantly, we saw the development and the passing of bedrock environmental legislation, the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, National Environmental Policy Act. Legislation that has saved lives. Legislation that has stimulated a transition to clean energy. Legislation that, when it's enforced, has been able to hold some of the biggest polluters in California and across the country accountable for their crimes, and to bring some measure of justice to communities all around the country, and to serve as a model for other countries around the world. A lot of that, not all of it, but a lot of that came from what happened here in Santa Barbara. Those are two man-made, not natural, unnatural disasters that created things that were beautiful. We are living in a time when we have another man-made disaster, a little bit further to the east. Lock him up. It's shameful what this presidency has become, what this administration is doing. What the president's enablers and acolytes and a feckless leadership in Congress is allowing, locking kids in cages, undermining the environmental legislation that has saved lives, trying to build a wall when people don't want it, calling up our darkest ghosts as a country to use race and misogyny, anti-Semitism to divide us. Shameful, abhorrent, immoral, and gone very soon. What happens out of this disaster is up to us. What we have already seen in the last couple years is beautiful. If you're looking at what's happening to our country, to our democracy, to our planet, if you're reading the latest scientific studies, and you don't feel depressed, if you don't have those dark, lonely moments late at night, in the morning, in the middle of your day, then you might not be paying attention. But if you haven't been inspired, if you haven't felt a powerful energy, if you haven't seen inspiring stories everywhere across the country, if you don't feel hopeful about what we can do, then maybe you're not paying attention as well. What I have seen is the most beautiful thing since I've been alive. Millions, tens of millions of people coming together to say we can do so much better. On environmental issues, we have seen 100 cities across the country make a commitment not just to get off coal, not just to stop oil drilling, not just to talk about how bad fracking is, but to say we don't need any of it. We don't need coal, we don't need gas, we don't need nuclear power. We can get off all oil and commit to 100% clean, renewable energy. We're here in the state of California. Where, like Hawaii, the entire state is now committed to 100% clean electricity within the next couple decades. Every single transit bus in this state will get off some of the dirtiest, most noxious and toxic fumes and fuels, diesel oil, and move to 100% clean, renewable electricity. So this is our test. Can we turn something beautiful across the country out of this disaster? Can we use this moment as an opportunity to spring way ahead into the future? Are we strong enough? Do we have love in our hearts to build a movement that includes everyone, every coal worker, every oil worker, everybody who's involved in fracking, every community that's dependent on fossil fuels? I think we can. So we have a lot of speakers here today. I just wanted to close with one thing. I'd like to ask you to just look around the room. We are packed. Look at how powerful we are. Think about all of your friends who couldn't even make it here, your family members, your coworkers, who care about the same things you do. Think about how powerful we are. When you combine our energy, our passion, our vision, our ideals, and you put that next to a plan to reactivate a couple wells off the coast, are we going to win or no? Yeah. When you think about the skills we have as organizers, as communicators, as advocates, as litigators, and you compare that to a plan onshore to frack natural gas, to pipe that natural gas in, just to make some steam, and then you take that steam and you inject it underground just to cook some dirty oil, and then you bring up that dirty oil, you mix it with somewhat less dirty oil, then you take that oil and you truck it to a refinery in Kern County. Aren't we strong enough to beat that idea? Yeah. Aren't we strong enough to make sure that we get off of all dirty fuels in Santa Barbara? Yeah. And aren't we strong enough to make sure that every elected official in every county post, in every city seat, is accountable to us and not to the biggest polluters? Yeah. That's right. All right, so I want to end with a quote from a UCSB alum, Rod Nash, who said that today is the first day of the rest of your life on Earth. Use it, please.